one says 2, so we have 2 over 3 and it's squared. Not a big deal. What it really means is that you're going to be squaring the 2 and you're going to be squaring the 3. Remember, when you square something, multiply by itself. So we'll get 2 2's 4, 3 3's 9, and you realize that your answer is here. So quite easy. You just have to relax and you work through. Number 2, it says, what percentage of? Whenever you're doing these questions, the off goes at the bottom, the is goes at the top. So if it says, what percentage of 340 is 425, you're going to have 425 over the 340. All right, this is what you're doing. Times 100. Like, this is the real math. But the thing is, if you kind of try to break this down the regular way, some of the times you may stuck. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Definitely, when you look at this, you're going to realize that your answer must be over 100 because it's an improper fraction. So if it is an improper fraction, it means that I'll get more than just 100%, which means that this is incorrect and that is incorrect already. So now you're thinking it's either C or D. And this is one of the things we want you to do. We want you to learn to eliminate things, and then you zoom in and do your thing from there. I was suggesting that if you try to do this the regular route, you might run into a little traffic. So let us do the regular route and see. So let us say you're a person who want to cancel down, right? Regular setup, you cancel this with that, right? And look what's going to happen now. If you say 2 into 10, that's 5. 2 into this is 17, all right? So these numbers are ugly for a multiple choice because remember, you don't have calculator. So you end up with 425 over 17 times 5. I wouldn't want to do that. What I want to do, right, is I'm going to use my regular knowledge. For example, I would know that if I have 425 over 340, understanding that 340 could go into it one time. So you know that that's 100%. So we know that we're in the 100% and more. So let us see how much will left over. You can subtract it to see regular leftover. Take it out of it. Take it out of it, and you're going to get 85. So it's like it goes into it one time and 85 over 340. Now, all you want to do here is compare this 85 to 340. You want to see if it is going to be a half of it, like a little bit more than a half, or is it less than a half? That's where you're going to pick the answer now. Because think about it, 85 over 340. It can't, because this is 52, 152, which means that this is saying 85 is more than a half of 340. No, it's not. So right there, I could eliminate one more, which means I don't need to prove this is the answer. By default, by I eliminate the 2 things, the 3 things, then I'm left with the correct answer. I'm just saying these are the approaches that you want to take. Elimination must be your biggest friend. Let's take a look at number 3. It says Anne and Betty shared a sum of money. This is the ratio. So this is Anne and this is Betty's, right? Anne received $120. What was Betty's share? In other words, then, Anne got 120. Anne got 2 parts. So there are many ways you can do this, because we're saying that, hey, these 2 parts was for 120. You can look at it like that. 1 part is going to equal to 120 divided by 2. So that means for 1 part, it was 60. So you could see that. And a lot of times, by the time you look at the 2 and the 120, you'll see the 60. So that means for Betty, it's going to be 3 times that 60, which is 108. All right. So here it is that this is the answer for that. Quite easy. So these are your same little concepts that you're taking out, right? You could print it if you want. I would just, normally I'm just going to send what I want. It's up to you if you want to print it. This is a multiple choice, all right? All right. Question 4 says, if 12.5% of a sum is this, what is the total sum? Remember, I told you that 12.5 is a very special percentage. If you're not getting factors and multiples of 10. They love to give you 12.5 as well because it has a meaning. 12.5 is 1/8. Remember, we looked at percentage with the eighths. 12.5 is 1/8. So in other words, then, you're telling me that 1/8, so this is technically saying 1/8 of something is 40. Can I find the thing? Yes. Yes. If I divide something by 8, and I get 40. So if I multiply, I get the answer. So that means if I take my 40 and I multiply it by 8, I'll get 320. Here's the answer. Quite easily, right? So, I mean, various ways you could walk through. Let's keep going. All right, so number 5 says here, the value of 29.94 times 0.5 is approximately what? The truth is, look at this figure, it's almost 30. And then this is a half. So you're thinking a half of 30. So you're looking for an answer close to 15 or 15. So it couldn't be any of these. Naturally, it has to be 15. Understand? Because this is 29.9, you know, this is almost 30. And we know that 0.5 means a half. And they're saying it is approximately what? This is 14.9, which is 15. All right? So this is your multiple choice. I haven't seen anything yet that is really mind-boggling, but let us keep going. It says, in a school, the ratio of the number of pupils to the number of teachers is 20:1. So in other words then, number of pupils, all right, to the number of teachers. People, right, is 20:1. So they're saying if the number of people is 840, so now you know how many, all right, people you have. They want to know how many teachers. So for every 20, there is 1 teacher. So all we're going to do is just to think about this logically. Why not just divide it by the 20 so that we could see how many teachers will come out of it? It's like foreign exchange. So you can see your zeros there. 2 into itself is 1. 2 into 8 is 4, and 2 into 4 is 2. 42. All right. So as we're going through, you know, guys, don't just, because I know that it's a simple thing. Wednesday, I'll see how much you're managing on your own. While I'm working this problem, as long as you have any little issue, you need to say what you have to say so I could, you know, probably re-explain or something. All right, number 7, the largest prime number. The largest prime number that is less than 100. This is like something that everybody would know. It's 97. All right. So what we want is 97. So the thing is now, prime numbers are numbers that a lot of people know. All right. The numbers that a lot of people know. But what you can do, you could try to see the others that are not prime and get rid of them. Like you definitely know that 99 is not a prime. Because when we say prime number, it is a number that only 1 could go into it and itself. So it's kind of unique. So 99, 3 can go into it, 9. So like 3 and 9 and 1, it's spoiled already. This is the same thing. 3, 9 and 1 could go into this. 13 and 7 can go into that one. This is the one that you won't find a number could go into it. Only 1 and itself. So you can eliminate the things that you know, zooming onto the answer. But this is a question that comes all the time, so you can memorize it. The HCF, which means that the highest common factor, right, of these. Now, the highest common factors of these cannot be 60, right? It cannot be 60, right? Factor, and it cannot be 12 because 12 cannot go into 15. So you want one number that could go into all of these without a remainder, the biggest one. So obviously, A and B can work, but H is for highest. So that means we have to pick the biggest. So you have to pick 3, the biggest one, the bigger of the 2. Yes. Now let's take a look at this question. I think we work a question like this on the other paper. So this one has been coming from, I was doing maths. I remember seeing this. So for this one, there are a number of ways, but you could employ factorization and do it because the common factor there is 49. So if I factor out 49, then I'm going to be left with 17 and 3. If I factor out 49. So I'm left with 49 times 17 plus 3, 20. We're looking for that. Here it is. So,
Sir,
I mean, these are just, go ahead.
what I want to know is, sir, is that why it have to be times 20 and not plus 20?
Oh, because if it is, well, it depends on what you're doing. If it is plus 20, you're saying the answer is 69, right?
Okay, sir.
And that would make sense.
I did question
Wait
papers.
first.
I practiced some question papers. I think it was 2026. No, 2006 and 2007. And I get 2006 wrong. That one and but you know, when I look at it and it came back on the 2007 paper.
Come a lot because I think I see it about 93 when I did it years ago.
Yes, sir.
Here's the deal. Let me tell you why. Look, let me just do the factorization for you so that you could see a little bit clearer.
Yes,
there is a 49 times 17 plus 49 times 3. I'm going to show you this a number of ways. One of the ways you could have looked at it is like to say, this is 49 17 times. Plus mean also, and. So also we had 49 3 more times. You hear that? Remember, you multiply 49 times 70, and then you're going to have 49 3 more times. So it's like you have it 20 times. Make sense? 49 17 times and plus 3 more times. So you're actually having 49 20 times. Can you see that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But if you just do your regular factoring though, you don't need to think about it, because when you factor in something, you take out the highest common factor. Somebody's talking in the class. Meet your mic. Hold on. Somebody making. Let me just mute everybody. All right, good. So the common factor here is 49. So you're doing the opposite of distribution. So you're going to divide this by 49. See, they cancel itself, leaving 17. You divide this by 49, it cancels itself, leaving plus 3. See there? So you have 49 out there. What does a bracket mean? To multiply.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Good to go. All right, let's keep going. All right, so number 10 says the value of the digit 5 in this number. So it is very straightforward. If you call out, if you read the figure, you'll hear it. It says 537. 500. So the value of it 500, because the values of the digits, you know, if you read the figure, you're literally saying it. So you can think about that for the value of it. All right. Which of the following set is equivalent? So equivalent set would have the same number of elements. So probably you need to make a note of that. When sets are equivalent. All right, so when they are equivalent, they have the same number of elements. So this has 4 elements, so you're looking for one with 4. And that would be the answer. And that is why they never really have another one with 4, because there will be no answer. Okay? Hold on, guys. Let me switch to a Wi-Fi source that will give me a better audio when I'm done. comes a lot. And as I said to you, sets gonna come right here every time. When you reach number 12, it's going to be sets. So it says here, if in the Venn diagram, the shaded region. So the shaded region here refer to what we call the complement of P, or what we call P complement. The complement of something is everything outside of the thing. So if you take a look, you're gonna notice that the P is not shaded. P circle. And it doesn't matter if the P circle touch another circle. We're saying P is not shaded any at all, which means that what was shaded was the company of which we say complement of. So the complement of P, and so A is the answer. So this means complement of, okay? Like everything else except this. All right, so again, we see another question that I said they will always give you this. So now they said Excel. So same thing. They want us to find the number of elements in X union Y. Remember we said that the number of elements in X union Y is going to be the number of elements in X plus the number of elements in Y minus the number of elements in X intercept Y. So they change. So if they ask me for this one, I put this one over there. All right. So in this case, then what we have is 7 plus 5. And we're gonna take 3 from it. So 12 minus 3, 9. So our answer here is 9. Very simple, very straightforward. They do ask a question like this every time. The formula is very important because they can give you 3, any 3. So it could be any 3. So you have to learn how to set it up. You can get any 3. 14. So this is a repeat too. Factors of 6. Let's write them. 1, 2, 3, 6. Factors of 4. 1, 2, 4. The shaded region is referring to the part of it that overlap. So you want to look, after you have listed the factors of 6, factors of 4, you want to look for the parts that overlap. And it is this. 1 and 2 would be in there. Right?
Sir?
So, yes, I'm listening.
For 13, sir, what do you get for the answer?
9.
Okay, sir.
All right, good. Let's look at number 15. So number 15 says we have Trinidad and Tobago's $6 is $1 US. Then if I have 15 Trinidad dollar, how much US? So this is division now. This is like foreign exchange. So we're gonna say, all right, we're gonna take 15 and we're gonna divide it by 6. So the moment I divide 6 into 15 goes 2 times. And remainder 3. But when I look at my answers, this is the answer already. You know why? Because there is only one answer here with a 2. So normally when I'm teaching the multiple choice, I'll say to you, while you're working out, you want to take a preps on your responses because this is not 2, this is not 2, this is not 2. So I don't need to work it down to the end because there's only one thing would start with a 2. And I'm positive that 15 divided by 6 is 2. So I'm just saying you would have picked that already, but let me just finish it off for you. So it's going to be 2 and remainder 3 over 6, which is a half. So it is 2.5, as you could see, $2.50. But you never had to go that far since C is the only response that starts with a 2, right? So this is how you work your multiple choice and you save time as you go. A man's taxable income is $15,200. He pays tax at a rate of 25%. The amount of income tax he pays, so we want to know the income tax is 25%. What they're gearing at here is understanding many things, right? You can just relate to the fact that 25% is a quarter of anything. So we want to make the association. This is like 2 eighths. Remember when I said understand your eighths? This is 2 eighths, 25%. So basically then 25% of this means a quarter of it. And a quarter of anything is to divide it by 4, basically. So I'm just saying, basically, you're saying 15,200 divided by 4 into itself is 1, and you keep working this. 4 into this is what? About 3, and remainder 3. And 4 into this will give us 8, then 0 and 0. So you work it down right now. So you're going to get 3,008. What I'm saying is there are some little questions. You will have the ideas, but even when you try to work it, it's going to take a little bit of calculation like this one. Not a big deal. All right. So we found a quarter of 15,200. It's 3,008. Let's go to number 17. At the end of any year, a car is worth, take a look at this. At the end of any year, a car is worth 5% less than what it was worth in the beginning. You see the percentage that I'm talking? They love to use things that you can link 10 to. Because even the 25%, that's the, I could have linked 10 to it, you know, but I just couldn't bother, right? So look, this is 5%, which is a half of 10. So now the car will lose 5% every year. If a car is worth 10,000 in January, then by December, what is it worth? All you have to do, you know, is to find 5%. So you can find it the regular way, or you could drop off this and say that's 10, and then divide it by 2. You're like, oh, 500 will come off. So you definitely know that the car is now worth 9.5. You understand? So, so it's all about just being relaxed, finding your things. Or you could do your regular and say 5% means 5 over 100. That works because the numbers are nice. So you flex based on how you feel. So 2 zeros come off right there, 2 0. 5 times 100, this is the same 500, which is going to come off from your 10,000, and you're left with 9,005. So there are a number of ways that we can approach the problems. You want to execute it the way in which you are most comfortable. You will be fine. All right, number 18 says Tom bought a pen, right, for $60 and sold it to gain 20% on his cost. So Tom bought a pen for 60 and sold it to gain 20%. How much did he gain? You hear what they ask? How much money did he gain? They're not asking you for the selling price. How much you gain? What is 20%? 60. If I drop off a 0, that's 10%. And if I double this, I get 20%. So what we're talking about? I'm saying this 10% thing is so nice for the exam, because if I drop off a 0, and they're always going to set it up nice, I promise you. You drop off a 0, that's 10%. And if I double it, I get 20. So that's the answer. All right. Mr. Duncan bought a table at a discount of 30. Thus, go ahead.
Can you go back to the one before?
Right there.
Right there. So when where you said that for the 60, and you say you drop off the 0, you get what?
No, I'm just saying 10% all the time is just to take off a 0 at the back of anything. So 10% would have been 6.
Okay.
So 20% is 12. 30% is 18. You see what I want? Easy.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, but in an exam, you work things according to you. So if you don't know those little tricks, you do it the regular way. 20 over 100 times 60 to work it out. 0 cancel 0, 0 cancel 0. 2 6s, 12. I'm just saying. So, I mean, we're just showing you that, listen, there are various ways to get there. You'll be fine. All right. All right. So in this question now, it says that Mr. Duncan bought a table at a discount of 30%. So there's a 30% discount that led to $42 come off. All right. What is the mark price? So you want to go back to 100%. There are a number of ways you could do this. You could, all right, there's a way you could do it like this. If I have the percentage of something, like I have 30%, which means 30 over 100 of it. of something is this. If I want to go back to the original thing, all I have to do is to reciprocate my fraction. So if you put 100 over 30 and times the figure that you have, it's going to take you to the final answer. Let me go again. If I have any fraction of a thing and I want to find the original, so if you tell me that 30% of something is 42 and you're saying, what is that original thing? All I have to do is to represent 30% as a fraction and reciprocate it, and then multiply by 42. And then it takes you there. So let us just do this. 0 cancels 0. All right. So we have 3 into itself 1, 3 into 4, 1, carry 1. So this is 14. So we have 14 times 10, and this is going to give me 140. I'm looking for the answer is C. So it takes you there. There are many other ways you could do it though. Like each time I have a question like these, I'm seeing like 3 or 4 ways that you can approach them. All right, take a look at this. If the simple interest on $800 for 3 years is, so this is interest. Can you notice the sentence? The simple interest on the principal for that time is, right? So now they want the rate. Now the rate is always 100 times your interest over principal times time. This is 100 times your interest over 800 times the time. And you work it out. So this 0 cancels that 0 cancels that. So I'm just breaking things down as I want. I believe 3 into itself is 1. 3 into this is 1, remainder 2. 3 into this is 18. So I'm looking at 18 over 8. And if I break this down using number 2, I'll get 9 on top of 4. So I'm looking for 9 over 4 as a percentage. If I don't, this is, look, this is 4 over 9. Don't let it catch you. So it's not this, all right? So if I don't see my thing, then I'm going to represent my response another way. 9 divided by 4 gives you 2 times and remainder 1 over 4. So now I'm looking for this. So I had this originally, it's not there. I change it into a mix, and then I see they have it as a mix. So, I mean, nobody knows what they'll be sending, but trust your answer. And if you don't see the exact answer you're looking for, see if you could represent it another way. It might just be there. All right, let's look at 21. 21 says, at a sale, each book was marked $3 off the original price. We want to listen to that. $3 off the original price. Daniel paid $46 for 2 books, right? At the same sale, what was the original cost of 1? You can do this a number of ways. Remember, the key here is that he actually got $3 off. So if he paid $46 and he got $3 off each, and it's 2 books, then that means you could add back the $6 because it was 2 books, and then you realize that the original thing for 2 would have been 52, right? So if you divide this by 2, you're gonna get $26 for 1. So that's one approach for that question. Another approach that you could have taken is that you could say, all right, why not divide the price for the 2 right now, and you're gonna get $23. But this would have been when the $3 came off, because this is for 1 now. So all you're gonna do is to add back that $3 off, and you still get back your 26. And this is how I love math, because as long as you're relating the thing in the right context, you'll get back the same answer. So you don't have to walk my route, but you're gonna get there nonetheless if you're approaching it from a logical viewpoint there. 22 says if 7,000 is borrowed at a rate of 5% per annum, right, for 3 years, what is the simple interest? They want to know the simple interest. Simple interest is equal to your principal times your rate times your time over 100. Principal is 7,000 times the rate, which is 5, times the time over So here, this cancel here. So, I mean, then all you're going to do is to do your regular working out. This is actually 70 times 15 right here, right? So 75 times 15, all you have to do is just multiply and then add a 0 at the end. So you could multiply your regular 7535, right? Carry the 3, 717, and 310. And you know that it's 70. You put back a 0 at the end. So you're seeing where you get that as an answer. Remember, you're not going to have no calculator. So those little regular multiplication skills, not a big deal. You put it together. What I would say to you is that all the questions will be numbers that are easy to work with. And as we go, you will see. 23. We have to read carefully. It says 7 times the product of 2 numbers, A and B, may be written as what? 7 times the product. Product means to multiply again. So 7 times A times B is 7AB. 7AB. So 7 times the product of A and B. Now, if X is an integer that satisfies the inequality here, then so all we're going to do here is we want to solve for X. So basically, X is in the middle. That means I need to divide by 2, and I'm going to do it everywhere. Let's break this down. I'm looking at 2. I'm going to write back my symbol here. So you could see that I'm left with X, and this is 3. So I'm doing regular solving, regular approach. I'm looking for the answer. I see that A, and I'm gone. So whenever you're solving these, just do it just as though you would have been doing your paper 2. 25. We were given this, so we want to distribute. So we want to solve this. Well, you could solve it a number of ways. One of the ways you could do it is to distribute. So 5 times 2x is going to give me 10x. 5 times -1, that's -5. That's me removing the bracket. And this is equal to 35. Then I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So 10x is now 40. 10x is 40. You could see x has to be 4. And we're gone. So the multiple choice is kind of a nice little walk. We expect everybody to collect like a 60 from 60 here. You don't want to miss this. All right, so we're multiplying these. When you multiply, so 2 3s gives us 6. When you multiply the same letters though, x to the second, x to the third, when you multiply, you add powers. So we're looking for 6x, but to the 5th power, and it's at A. Because remember the deal, you know, when we multiply the same variable, we add their powers. If x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 2, what is the value of this? So we're employing substitution here. X squared, so it's going to be 4 squared plus 3 times y, y is 2, all over xy, xy. As you can see, understanding the symbolism and then represent 4 squared, it's not 8. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 6 over 8. This gives us 22 over 8. If you break this down by using 2, you get 11 over 4. And if you don't see it, represent it now as a mixed number. 4 into 11 goes 2 times and remainder 3 over 4. Look again and your answer will appear. So it simply means that when you're dealing with your multiple choice, this is not paper 2 where you submit what you get. You understand? You have to make sure that you find what they have. And if you don't see what you have, change the form of it, you will see it. The sum of 2 positive integers, P and Q, is 32. Their difference is 12. What is the smaller value or the smaller number? What a lot of people do is they use trial and error, but I'm not going to do any trial and error. I like to just work it and get my straight answers. So I'm going to create an equation, a system to let it work. It says the sum. So I'm going to say P, sum means to add. So P plus Q gives me 32. That's what they said. And then their difference, that means P minus Q, gives me 12. So I'm having a simultaneous equation here. If I add right now, because the negative and positive, if I just add, I'll get 2p. P plus p is 2p. This becomes 0 because it's a negative and positive of itself. This becomes 44. And then I divide by 2. Give me a second. So p is equal to 22. If p is equal to 22, take a look. P minus, look. So this says p minus q is 12. Think about it. 22 minus q is 12. Right? So you could say that q is 10, right? So you're dealing with p equal to 22, q equal to 10. So as you could see, you add these, you get 32, you subtract, you get 12. Now the question is, what is the smaller? So you have to pay attention to what the question wants, because they could have asked you for the smaller, could have asked for the larger. And what I don't want you to do is to do what I see people doing last year, because a lot of times the questions may seem like it's repeating. Sometimes it's a trick, like they might ask you for the smaller in your classwork like this, but in the exam, they might give you the exact thing, but put larger here. And people just in nerves and trying to go fast, they say, oh, I know this question, it's 10. No, this time it's 22. You have to be careful. So guys, whenever you see a question, despite what I'm doing here, I want you to read it and make sure you look at what they're asking, because last year they tricked a lot of people with that. All right, just remember. 29. When 6 is added to a number and the sum is divided by 3, the result is 4. The statement written in the mathematical symbol is what? So you go again. It says when 6 is added to a number. So call the number x. So 6 is added to a number, right? When 6 is added to a number and the sum, that sum is divided by 3, the result is 4. So you're looking for this idea right here that I have here. So where is it? This is it. So A is the answer in your bar. So you relax, look at what you have, and when you're representing, make sure you're not making any error, because it's easy to error. The volume of a cube with edge 10. What is a cube? A cube is like an ice. You look at regular ice tray thing that you eat all the time. This side is 10, this is 10, this is 10. Volume is going to be 10 times 10 times 10, which is going to be 1,000. And here is the answer. All right, 31. If 3 plus 2 over x is 1, then what is x? You want to solve this ordinarily, so we could you'll subtract 3 from both sides. So 2 over x is -2. All right, think about that. So you can do that. You can start off like that, right? And then up to you. So multiply both sides by x, right? So x cancel x there. So the x is over there. All right. I'm just saying, so 2 is equal to that. Divide by -2. -1 is equal to x. So the thing is, when you know your numbers, the moment you reach certain level, you'll be able to see the answer. Trust me. Because if I have 2 is equal to -2x, what could x be? Only -1, you know. -1 times -2 would have given you +2. So you know already. Remember, when you're in the exam, you are not required. All right. The working that I'm doing here is for explanation and to let you see clearly what I'm doing when I'm picking my answers. But definitely when I am doing this and I reach right here, then I know that my answer is -1 based on my understanding how the number works, right? So, because it's not like they're looking for your working, they're not. But I encourage you to do it to make sure that you are accurate. How many kilograms are there in a ton? Anybody knows that? Let me see how many persons know that. How many kilograms in a ton, anybody? How much people know that? Huh? Hello? They ask that question all the time. It's 1,000. It's the same question they send every time. I see this question, I tell me how much kilogram in 1 ton? It's 1,000. And if they turn it the other way around, it's a different thing. How many ton in a kilogram? You'd have to do it the way they get 0.001. You understand? I'm just saying, watch out for these questions because if they switch it around, it's a different answer you're going to get. Kilogram that is in the ton is 1,000, but if you put a ton in a kilogram, you're going to have to divide by 1,000. All right, so we're looking out for the tricks based on what I saw last year. I have to just say it, keep saying it over and over. Okay, you're going to see back some of these and you might say, oh, I see this already. Not really. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. All right, go ahead. I'm listening.
Could you repeat what you said? A ton is in a that. Could you repeat it, please?
No, no, man. I was just saying to you, like, while teaching, I'm just telling you that a lot of you are swatting the questions and you have been listening to people and they might say, questions repeat, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying be cautious because a lot of times they will turn around the question. In this question, they said, how many kilograms are in a ton? You might go in there and they ask you how many ton in a kilogram. I'm just saying they can turn it around. So if they turn it around, the answer is not the same. I'm just saying that. That's all. Because the ton is bigger than the kilogram. So you know that you will get some decimal. So you'll be looking for it like that. So I was just saying you would divide by 1,000 instead. All right. So next question. We have a sector question here. It says, oh, AOB is a sector of a circle such that we have the angle here. They're giving you that. The radius is given. Area of the sector, you all know. Formula says area of sector is the angle, which is 60 degrees out of the 360, pi r square. We're talking about the area. So it's the area of a circle, but a fraction of it, this fraction of it. So 0 cancels 0, 6 into itself, 1, 6 into this, 6. So what we're looking at is 1/6 pi r square. Here it is. So a lot of times they're not going to want the values. They want to know. Yes, go ahead.
Did you use the 6? Cancel the 6?
So the first thing I know it's 1/6 by 6, but that I was just doing it step by step. I said 0 cancel 0. So you're left with 6 over 36, 6 into itself, 1, 6 into 36, 6. So we get 1/6 with the same formula. A. Good?
Yes, sir.
Item 34. We're looking at a square and we're looking at a triangle. Measurements are given and stuff like that. All right. So it says here the length of one side of the square is given as 5, the height. So the 4 is height right here. All right. So they want the total area. And remember, this is a square, so all the sides are the same. But the area of a square, though, is 5 times 5. So the square part is 25. For the area of the triangle, it's half base times height. Half base times height. So that's 20 over 2, 10. So the area of this part is 10. So if we're combining everything, 10 plus the 25, we're looking for 35. So what we did was just to find the area of the two pieces, and then you add them. It's not a big deal. 35. Which of the figure below, not drawn to scale, has an area equal to this formula here? In other words, when you look at this formula, I'm going to write it down here so to move up the screen. When you look at this formula, half 5 plus 4 times 2. Which one of these diagrams would it fit? So this is a trapezium, and the trapezium says, so these are the parallel sides. Look, parallel sides, you see the arrows on them showing that they are parallel to themselves. So the formula says half the sum of the parallel sides times the height. So you want, so that means this is a height. So in this question, this is height. So I'm looking for, so I will pick D already because this is height. Because I don't see any height here. Notice they don't have any height. So height is there. And then 5 and 4 will be the parallel side. This is 4 and 3. This is 5 and 4, but no height is there. This is 5 and 4, but we don't have any height. So you could see D is the only one that has everything. The height, parallel sides. So it means then it would have been a half the 5 and the 4 added, and then whatever result you multiply by 2, which is the height, which is what they gave us, all right? So D is the answer. This formula is given to you by CXC as well. It's a trapezium area. A car travels 80 kilometers in 2.5 hours, all right? So pay attention to details. 80 kilometers, 2.5 hours. What is its speed in kilometer per hour, right? What is speed? If you know anything, you'd say speed is your distance over your time. We'll just say it. All right. So speed is your distance over your time. So see your distance over your time. So many ways you can do. This is your distance, divide by your time. All right. And your time is 2.5. Right. So you could look at it like that, or look at this. You could convert this to 5 over 2, because this is fraction. So 2.5, you can say 5 over 2 if you want. So it's like you have 80 divided. I'm just showing you some. Not saying that you have to. 80 divided by 5 over 2 will mean 80 times 2 over 5, like you do in regular fraction. You work it down. So 5 into this of 1, 5 into this 1, remainder 3, 6. So you have 16 times 2, 32. Like you can just work out your maths, like understanding speed, distance, and time. And most of us kind of know that speed is the distance divided by the time. Because when you look at the speed of something, you're realizing that it is the distance divided by time. What do I mean? If I tell you the speed of a car, I say a car is traveling 100 kilometers per hour. Wait, 100 kilometers over 1 hour. Oh, kilo, distance. Hour, time. I'm just telling you that in mathematics, the units you actually could see what it is dealing with. Distance over time is called speed. So that's the formula for speed. So like a lot of times if I'm teaching, if we talk about this is how I'll talk it to you. So you know that you know the knowledge long time, sometimes it's just to relate to it. All right, number 37. The area of a rectangle
Sir,
is, yeah.
I get 1.6 when you work out when you work the 80 times 2 over 5. When you're working it out, how do you get?
Regular. So you have to know your little timetable. 5 into itself, 1. 5 going to anything will end with 5 or 0. So I know it can work. 5 into the 8, 1 time, remainder 3. 5 into 36. So we're left with 16 times 2, 32. Good to go. All right.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So 37. The area of a rectangle is 53.6 square cm. If the length is multiplied by 4 and the width half, what is the new area? So we're going to think about this. Area is equal to length times width because it's a rectangle. They just said that if the length is multiplied by 4, that means you have 4L. And then the width is half. That means you divide it by 2. Now let's take a look at what's going on. 4LW over 2. We could break it down. 2 into itself is 1, 2 into 4 is 2. So basically now we have area equal to 2 times. So what is the difference between what you started with and what you have here? Because area is just length times width. But after they did a few adjustments to it, we ended up realizing that we have 2 times length times width, which means this is length times width. So my original length times width was 53.6. But you could see that when I multiply by 4 and divide by 2, it's basically multiplying everything by 2. So I'm going to multiply this by 2. I'll get 12, carry the 1, 6 and 1, 7, 5 2s there, boom. So that means it doubled. So, because you could see that this double, look, length times width was double, see the double here? So that means 106, 103.6 double is going to give you 107.2. So I'm just breaking it down as simple as I can so you can see. So with a question like this, you follow what they're saying. Just follow it. Execute it like right here. Draw your conclusion with your regular number skills, and then you can relate. All right. But this question though, I've seen it on so many occasions. 38. A man leaves home at 22. This is 10:15 and reaches his destination 4. This is 4 a.m. This is p.m. Right? How many hours did he journey? Well, you can check it. You can say from 10:15 to 12 midnight. That's 1 hour and 3/4 plus 4 more hours. So it's 5 hours and 3/4. Think about it. 10:15 to 12 midnight, that's 1 hour or 1 hour and 3/4 of an hour. And then you go from 12 now to 4 is 4 more hours. So together it's 5 and 3/4. The perimeter of a square is 48. What is the area? Now a square is suggesting that all the sides are equal in length, which means that this 48, if I divide it up into 4 equal parts, I'm going to get 12. That means this is 12, this is 12, that's 12, and that's 12. Now, if I'm asked to find the area of a square, I need to remember what area has to do with. Area is length times the length, which is going to be 12 times the 12. And 12, 12, based on our timetable, is 144. So basically, you're taking information, relating, doing your association. This part was the key, understanding the perimeter, that it's a square. It's 4 equal sides. That means I can divide by 4 to get one side. And then after that, the rest is history. Just going through so that you can understand how you navigate. Now, it says among a group of employees, the highest paid receive weekly wage of 105.4 or 105.40. If the range is 27, all right, how much does the lowest? All right, this is a little bit of what is range. My range is my highest, I'm going to put high, minus my lowest. That's what range refers to. So in this case, let us put things where they belong. Range, 27. Highest, 105. So the question is asking me for the lowest. Look, so it wants the lowest. So all I could do is just to switch things over, right? So the lowest is going to equal to 105.40. You want to take away $27.50 from that. So you work out your maths. So basically, if I have my highest and I have my range, you just subtract it and it gives you the answer. Anybody get the answer for that?
Yes, sir.
Sugar.
C.
Yeah. You can get $77.90. Very good. So understand the range. Highest minus the lowest. So it depends on what you have. You have to subtract or whatever, depending on the situation. No. So what's the modal score? The one that occurs most frequently. It seems as if it's the 3. I'm seeing it 3 times. So the modal score is 3. It came 3 times. All right. So then they're dealing with some statistics now. A bag contains 2 red, 4 yellow, and 6 blue marbles of similar size and shape. The probability of drawing a blue marble from the bag at random is what? So basically, blue is 6 out of the total. So you want to add up these. I think you're going to get 12. So it's going to be 6 out of 12, which is 1 over 2, because 6 into itself 1, 6 into that 2. So it's a half. All right. So you want to look at it like that. Remember that the probability is the desired outcome over the total possibility. What we desired just now was the blue, which is 6 out of 12. That's a half. All right. How many children took part in the survey? All right, so take a look at this. We're dealing with the age. So the age is along here, and this is the number of. So at age 4, there are 3 of them age 4. Age 5, there are 4, and so on. So if they want to know how many children are in the survey, you're going to be adding up these numbers: 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1. So 7 plus 2, 9, 14, and 1, 15. You're just adding up these bars, their height. So you're going to realize that, hey, it's 15 children that we have there. 3 of them were 4 years old, 4 of them were 5, 2 of them were 6, 5 of them was 7, and 1 of them was 8. 44. 44. No, so we have that. So it says if 12 students prefer chocolate, then the total number of students is what? So chocolate is over here. Now, observing this is a straight line here. You already know a straight angle is 180. That means if I take that 120 from it, I'll get 60. That means this is 60 here. Basically, this is telling me that 60 is 12. That means 120 must be 24. So that means milk is 24. Now, we're looking at the fact that the 12 and the 24 is 36, and it is half. That means if I double it, if I double it, I get 72, which is the entire thing. Because the question asks for the total number. So that's one of the ways that you could work it. It's a very simple way. Just take your time, work it, relate. So again, since 60 was linked to 12, 24 will link to the 120 because it doubles. And then you would have seen that this is half of the circle. So the other half must be 36 as well. So 72. Because the question asks for the total. Of 120 students writing an exam, 10 are expected to pass. The estimated probability that a randomly selected student will fail is what? Take a look at what they said. We have 120 students. 100. Did I say 10 just now? What I think I said 10. 100 are expected to pass. So that means 20 will fail. Because if 100 are going to pass, 20 will fail. It's 120. So the estimated probability all right, that a randomly selected child will fail is going to be 20 out of the 120. Make sense? Because it's 20 will fail. You could break it down and you see what you get. 20, 1, 6. 1, 6 will fail. We're dealing with some functions now. So you see this, the multiple choice covers the entire syllabus, just the same. It gives 1 and like 2 and 3 of different topics as you go. Which of the following diagram illustrate a function? So this question comes a lot, but it can come in various forms. So I'm going to give you the nitty-gritty of what a function is. Here it is. Now, let me relate to you mathematically, and then I'm going to relate to your real life story. See if you can make a connection. Now, there is always X and Y, and I'm going to switch this like this. Because I want to send a certain message to you. I'm going to put the X over this side. Context is the arrow leave X. So I don't want you to say the X is always on the left. Most times it is, but it's not about that. It's about where the arrow is coming from. The arrow only can come from X. So you notice in this case, I switch it because I wanted to see that X is here. That means the arrow will be pointing that way. If X is here, the arrow will point here. The arrow always comes from X. In other words, X is independent and it flows from independent to dependent. Now, that is generally speaking. Let's talk about the function. When you have a function, the X, each X only can have one Y. For example, each X should only go to one Y. So you notice each X going to one Y. Now, when I say that, don't be fooled because this can happen. Each X only went to one Y still. Each X. So the arrow leaving the X must only go one place. We don't care how many of them go there, but leaving. So this is a function here. Now let's show you what's not a function. You see the problem? This is the problem right here. 2 arrows left A. That's a problem. So even though a lot of people might want to mix up this is different because 1 arrow left A, 1 leave B, 1 leave C. We don't care where it ends up. We're saying what happened, right? It is like our society look at men and women. It's like society has said a woman will only have one man, basically. So it's like the X is like the female and it is expected. So it's like when a man have more than one, people don't really feel no way, but when a woman is like them look out, that's what I'm saying. So I'm not saying it's true to life, but I'm saying expected. So each woman only go to one. You understand? So that is the case. So like in this case now, this is the one of those ladies who are defining what, you know, so boom, this is not a function right there because gonna that, gonna that. So when you go back to your question, like here, you're looking what the moment they're asking you for a function, and I'm going to say something else to you as well, just for teaching experience as we go. Look, you see this? 2, this gone to 2 things, not. Look again. You see this one, you see it? Gone to 2? No, you can't do this. Even this, gone to 2? No. Boom. And even though 2 different ones went to the one, that's not the issue. We're talking about leaving. And how do you know where the X is? You see, look, they didn't put X or Y, but you are to know that the arrow only can leave from X go to Y. That's what I'm saying. So you might get a question where they turn the arrows around, the X is where the arrow coming from. Just remember that. Another thing you can use to do a function. Let me see if any question like that. I don't think they'll put it. No, there is none. So let me.
51 seconds.
Yeah, man, when we reach there. When we reach there. It's something I want to say to you. I was looking if there is one, but there is none. So I'm just going to say it. Now, matters relating to a function. Sometimes they'll give you many graphs, like they'll give you something like that, like this is a graph. And they might say, hey, this is a graph. And they might say to you, say, hey, that is a graph. And the question is, which is not a function? So whenever you get the graph, you have to do what we call a vertical line test. I might have said it to you. So if you draw a vertical line and it touches it one time only, it's a function. Function. If you draw a vertical line and it touches more than one time, see? Spoil when it reaches already. Spoil. No, not a function. So they don't have to give you the question that I'm looking at. They could give you a question like this to test for function. So remember, this is x-axis. That's why we use vertical line test. This is like saying 5, and this would have been, say, 6. That's 7, and that probably 9. It's like we're saying 5 plot with 9, plot with 7, plot with 6, in not a function. If you get the point I'm making, you see the point coming back in a different way. Because this 1, 5 was plotting with many things, and this is an x value. No. Now, another way they could give you in coordinates. Just take a look, you know, I'm just showing you. When I see the idea, I show you. What if I have 4, 3, and then we have 2, 1, and then I see 4 again with another number. They could give you in coordinates. Look, you cannot have one x value repeating that same x value. Can't repeat. You go with 3, cannot go with 5. No. You understand what we're saying now, people? So you look out for the x, man. So if they give coordinates, you will know. They will give you like, this would be one set. But the moment you see one x value repeat, the whole thing spoil already. And they'll make sure that they give you one where you're not going to see the x repeat. Y can repeat, that is fine. Is the x is the problem. All right? All right, make we go and try the paper. 49. 49 says the straight line AB cuts the y-axis. Where? At what? See the y-axis there. So that is -2, but in terms of the x value, 0 with -2. So be careful. All right, 0 with -2. When the moment you're on your x-axis, on the y-axis, if you're on it, the x value is always 0. And when you're on the x-axis, the y value is always 0. So remember those little things. At x-intercept, y is 0. Y-intercept, x is 0. Careful. Speak up as clearly so I can understand what you're saying.
So at the top where I have x, what is that a number?
I don't know. When you say top, what's your reference?
They can write that properly.
49.
What about 49?
So you have, I don't know what to have this. Oh.
This may I talk about.
Okay.
Talk about it, you know, just talk. I just, it's not a part of the question, you know, it's just me trying to allow you to learn as much in one question. They asked about the y-intercept right here. The answer is this. I was saying to you, at y-intercept, x is always 0. And then I give the contrary to that. At x-intercept, y is always 0. Just knowledge, not a part of the question, just learning more ideas as you go, because you don't know what is going to come in your exam. What is the gradient? Yes.
Sir, look like me zone out a while ago, sir. Come in never hear not for
No,
47.
but you're gonna watch a recording. You're a good man. Remember I
Okay.
recorded there.
Okay.
Remember it's a record. That's true.
Okay, sir.
You don't have to worry about that. Just when you watch a recording, nobody zone out. Me not say nothing much. So when you watch it, you hear what me say. Was just added information. All right, for this one, it says, what is the gradient of the line? If you're gonna tell the gradient of the line, you need to write it in this form. This is called slope.
Oh, you don't do 47 and 48.
Then we're not gonna know. We are gonna know. We still are work this, man. We can go there so when we're ready. Because no go down, we are go down, no, sir. Right, sir. All right. Now,
Sorry, they are 50.
yeah, man. No, this when I can do this next, you have to learn to solve problem, you know. This next right, sir. So we do it when we reach there. No, sir. Anyways, I'm at number 50. Work with me, man. We said y is equal to mx plus c. If you're going to tell the gradient, y equal to mx plus c. So you can tell the gradient is the number that come in front of the x. So you need to set up this to start out yourself. So you're going to transpose so that the y is alone. So first move, get rid of this, all of it one time, take it away. All of it, so it's gone. So you have 2y here, minus 3x. I'm putting the x part first and the minus 8. I'm setting it up like this. Almost done. I'm going to divide by 2. Why am I dividing by 2? So that the y is alone. Remember, the objective is that the y must be alone. The focus of the question is the gradient. Gradient comes in front of the x. So I don't care about that 4 on the back. So I'm looking for negative 3 over 2, which is b. All right. So the basic idea is that in this question here, you're only required to make y the subject, and that's called transposition. You remind yourself of how to do that. 47. All right, so we can jump to 47 here. So 47 here is for this question. So it says that the graph of the inequality in the diagram is defined by what? So what they're asking you is that which one of these inequality is talking about this? As you could see, the open circle is at 1, open. That means this is not the answer and that's not the answer, because when the bar is underneath it, we normally would shade that spot right there, right? But remember, if it is not shaded, that means there's no bar, so it's either A or B. Now let's take a look. This is saying that the unknown that we're referring to would be less than 1. So x is less than 1, not greater, less, because it's going that way. See the arrow pointing that way from here. Are we good? So the answer is that x, so it's A. And remember, if the bar was underneath it, they would have to shade the circle first before the point in whichever direction they're pointing in. All right. So when this is shaded, we get these, or it could be this one. And when it's not shaded, then we leave it open like this here. All right. So you have to be careful with those. Let's look at 48. 48 says if f of x is 2x squared. So what we have here is that f of x is actually 2x squared minus 1. We want to find f of negative 3, which means that we're going to input. So it's negative 3 is an input value. You're going to input that negative 3 where x is in the original function. So it's going to be 2, open bracket, negative 3 square minus 1. 2, when you square negative 3, it's going to give you positive 9. Then you take 1. 2 times 9 is 18, then minus 1, 17. So you're looking for that. So you work your thing down. No big deal. You take your time and you go through. So again, we did that. So it shouldn't be a problem. 51. 51 says the item 51 below refers to the diagram. All right. So as you could see, they're telling you that we have a function here, And as you can see, the arrow is rightfully pointing from X towards Y. So this time they felt like showing you where X is. But as a teacher, I'm saying to you, whether or not they put X or Y here, we know that the arrow has to come from X towards Y all the time. All right. Now let us see what they're saying here. They're saying which of the following statements best describes the function? Which one of these best describe the function? In other words, when you look at the X values that are relating to the specific Y values, is there this common thing that happened to the X so as to produce that Y value? For example, what happened to 2 that turns it into 5? What happened to this 5 that turns it into 8? What happened to this 8 that turns it into 11 and 11 that turns it into 14? One of these answers will be very consistent, all right? And so you can use a process of elimination to see. For example, number 1 says X is equal to Y plus 3. See if that makes sense. X value is equal to the Y value plus 3. 5 plus 3, can that give you 2? No, that means this is really off. Let's go for the next one. So you can eliminate them as you go. Y is equal to 2 times X plus 1. Well, let us try. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1, 5. Ah, that look nice. But you can't try it for 1. You have to try it for all. So 2 times 5 is 10. That's spoiled already. Plus 1, 11. No. 2 times, so the moment it's spoiled for 1, you have to stop. Now, if you get it correct for 1, that doesn't mean it right, because you see 2x plus 1 work. But let's keep going. 3 minus x give you y. F of x means y. So this is saying y is equal to 3, take away x. No, 3 minus 2, that's not 5. 3 minus 5, that's not 8. 3 minus 8, that's not 11. So you could see that that's not working either. So this don't work, this don't work. Automatically the answer is D. Now, if I eliminated 3, I'm not going to prove the next one. I'm just going to write it, because if all the first 3 responses are wrong, then the last one is the answer. But I'm just going to show you that it is for real. But you don't need to show anybody in the exam, because it's not to prove anything. Think about this. X plus 3, so 2 plus 3, 5. 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus 3, 11. 11 plus 3, 14. So x plus 3 gives you f of x. F of x means y. Everybody see that? So you can easily just navigate and go through. Remember, this is a straight multiple choice that came, And if you're feeling comfortable with this, you're good. Now, 52 says, if the sum of the interior angles of a polygon is 4 right angles, then the polygon is what? So we're saying that we have a polygon that we have 4 right angles, man. So it's gonna be, it could be a number of things. You're gonna pick the one that is correct. But watch this. Triangle is 3 sides. Hexagon is 6 sides. Pentagon is 5 sides. Quadrilateral is 4 sides. So I will pick the quadrilateral because it's the only 4-sided figure there. And they did say 4 angles. So you want to know that 4 angles means 4 sides. 3 angles is 3 sides. 10 angles is 10 sides, because there is a side opposite to every angle. The number of sides is the same number of angles. You could look at any shape you see. 53. 53 says, if 53 refers to the diagram. In the diagram, AB and CD are parallel. So they're telling you that AB and the CD, so you mark it for yourself, they're parallel. You know that when you have a parallel cut by a transversal, there is a very special relationship going on. There are things like co-interior, alternate angle, which is a Z angle, corresponding angles. They are forming as you go. So what it says here, which of the following best describes the relationship between X and Y? As you could see, between X and Y, even when we were doing bearings, I said to somebody, let me show you the Z now. Somebody said, they don't really see it. That's a backway Z, but it's a Z. So that's the Z angle that we call the alternate angle. And we learned that Z angles are equal. When the line is parallel, alternate angles are equal. So angle X and angle Y are the same. So we pick A and we're gone. 54. So in the triangle below, right, it says the value of X. As you could see, remember, the total interior angle of any triangle is 180 degrees. So if I should add 30 plus 30 and then take it from 180 degrees, it's going to give me that third angle that is left, which is X, which is 120. So this here is 120. All right. So remember now, that has to do with the interior angle of a triangle. We take it and we go. 55. The image of the point, -3, 2 under the translation, 2, 1 is what? We did translation. And it's good that we kind of complete so many things. So you're going at the exam, you can say, well, even if you don't remember, you know, say, do in a class. So translation, what is the point? Watch this. The image of the point that under that is, so we don't have the image. Watch it. The image of the point. So this is the object. All right, and the object, so we're going to represent it like this. All right, so I'm going to represent like this for you first, plus the translation.
Excuse me, I'm not seeing anything.
Huh?
I'm not seeing anything.
No, no, probably you have your internet, man. You just jump out, jump in back when that happened to you. Sometimes I saw internet glitch. So remember now, object plus translation give image. When you read it, you have to be careful. If they don't give you the object, you can't put it like it is the object. This is the formula. Object plus translation give image. Because I got the object, because it says the image of the point. The image of the point. That means this is the object then. So this is the object. And I translate it. So you add, this is -1, this is 3. That means the point as a coordinate is going to be -1 at the front and 3. Because remember, I know this is a vector format to facilitate the translation, because translation is a vector. So I wrote it like that. I could have written it another way. I'm going to show you as well. So you're looking for this as the answer. The answer is D. What if you never felt like you want to do it? You could have done it like this. The point is -3, 2. You could have added, because in a translation, the 2 is a X and the bottom is a Y. So you could add your 2 because it's a +2. And you could see where the -1 comes from that. And the Y is 1. You could add your 1 and you see where the 3 come from with that. See there? -1, 3. 2, +2, +1. We add them to their respective partners. You get this. So, but I mean, the reason why I love to give people this formula is that it allows you to flow just in case they give you image and translation. You can work out your maths to go back to the original. So I don't know. This general format here is something you want to treasure so that you can manipulate it, transpose to get what you want. Because if object plus translation give image, if they give me image and translation, I can find object. If they give me object and image, I can find translation, because you're moving around the thing just as how you move around things to suit yourself, right? We're at 56. 56 says here, let me minimize this a little bit. It says how many triangles congruent to ADE would be needed to cover the rectangle ABCD entirely. Now they speak of congruent. So let me highlight this. So here it is. Congruent means same size and everything. So here is, oh boy, I'm not able to do a nice. All right, let me just try to mark it for you. So there is that. So what you want to do is to reproduce this as many times as you want. This is one approach. See there, you could reproduce it like this. So you could see you're getting 2 out of this.
Sir,
Yeah.
you can just say because, so you can say because like, oh, it's a right angle, sir. And what?
Go ahead, may I listen, Tavran? May I listen here? It's not going to work. So you could see the 6 of them, but you could get it many ways. Look, you could focus on the fact that you saw 1 here, you could get 2 out of this. In the market, you could get 2 out of this. Yeah, you can get 2 out of that. But since you're gonna get this 3 different times to cover the A, B, C, D, then you see how you get 6 for the answer. I mean, there's another way we could have worked it out right now using area, but I just don't feel like going to any working. So you can use area if you want. Matter of fact, let me just do it. If you look at the, so 6, by using a diagram, you got 6. That's one approach. When you watch the recording, you can look over. Let me clean it up to say what I want to say. If I look at the area of ABCD, it is, the length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 6. This shape. That rectangle here, I'm gonna outline it. All right, so the area of it is 6 times 6 is 36. If you look at the area of the triangle now, I'm just gonna mark the triangle for you now. The area of the triangle is 2 with 6. So it's gonna be 2 times the 6 over 2, you're gonna get 6. So basically then how many of the triangle can you get out of this? It's like 36 divided by 6, you still get back 6. So it's like you're saying 1 triangle gives you 6, but the entire thing is 36. How many times can it go into it? 6 times. All right. So there are many ways you could work out that same problem. I don't want to cover my 6. I'm gonna put it over the C only. Good. So multiple ways to get your answer. Keep driving, keep driving. So now they're dropping in some tricks. Trigonometry now, they're testing you to see how well you remember your tricks. Who is marking up my tick? Myself. Let me take off this. We might be using it. All right. So the question says here, the triangle is not drawn to scale. We have the angles that they're given. Find the length BC. BC is opposite to this angle 30. And they gave us the hypotenuse side. So then you're thinking about SOHCAHTOA. Why? Because it's a right angle triangle. And so opposite and hypotenuse is sine. So to find BC, basically you're going to say the sine of 30 is BC over 40. And then from this, if you're a person who loves to use cross multiplication, whatever, you could do your thing if you want. So you could say 40 sine 30 is BC. Be careful. 40 tan 30. 40 sine 60. 40 tan 60. Be careful. All right. So 40. All right.
God
Yes.
knows maybe me did that one well.
Huh?
God knows somebody think I be.
As I may say, be honest, to be honest, yeah, it's a very simple exam. You can get 68 or 60, but you can go in there and get 40 and think you get 60 because the answers are there. You can be just picking the wrong one. Just relax, work out your thing and just pick the right one. Just look.
Yes, sir.
All right, them gone in a transformation now. So it says, I think I said this question the last time. You know that this exact one here. So this is a 2013 paper, and I did a 2005 paper with you. And this is the couple question already come back because they normally come back. It says here triangle LMN is rotated in a clockwise. That means it's gonna go this way, clockwise direction. All right, through 90 degrees. Oh, about L. That means L is the center. That means L is not gonna move from where it is. So L is gonna be right there. You notice all the questions, all of them have L right there. So basically they are saying swing M and N go around 90 degrees. Now, I'll say this to you. Whenever you do 90 degrees, your vertical lines become horizontal. Let me repeat. This is a very important notice. Whenever you rotate 270 or 90, because you know 90 is 270 in the other direction. So it's the same thing, right? So the moment you go 90 or 270, all of your vertical become horizontal and your horizontal become vertical. So you see this line LN, I am looking for it to be vertical now. So you know I said this wrong, because you see it's the same way, all right? You know I said this wrong. So it's either gonna be now B or D. But remember now, look at the shape. If you're gonna go this direction and this is gonna remain the same, you expect LN to turn, so this is gonna be L and this is gonna be the N prime. That means this part is somewhere over here. Hold on, guys. This is it. And you expect M to be over there because your L, this is the key thing that you're looking for too. This becomes this. But at the same time, because it's just 90, expect this to just come somewhere here. All right. So this is the answer, B. And why you wouldn't choose this is so far this gone way over the other side. Because remember, it was somewhere out here. Yes.
You did that one in the other one that we did before.
Exactly. I'm telling you that the questions repeat. In the 205 paper you're referring to. You
Yes,
see,
sir.
and this is 8 years after. And you're seeing, so I mean, they repeat, man. But you still have to look over, because I saw where last year they send back repeat with trick. They ask something else with the same question though, and people choose the wrong answer because they didn't read it. A plane is flying in direction 40 degrees, 45. Bearings we are doing now again. 45 degrees. And change course, right? In a clockwise direction, 135. The angle through which the plane turned. So in other words then, so 45, 135. They're just asking you that angle here. So all you're going to do is to subtract 90, yeah? 90 degrees. Because they want the blue part, so you just subtract. Okay, you could see the 45 stop here, the 135 continue, you subtract to get the angle between, all right? Last one look like it's an enlargement. All right, so it says A prime, B prime, C prime is the image of ABC under an enlargement of scale factor 2. All right, the area of A prime, B prime is what? Let's go again. So this is the image. This is the image here of the real thing. Enlargement of the scale factor 2. All right. All right. So the thing is, when you're doing this, the only thing you have to do is you have to make sure that you know what's your image, what's your object. All right. So you could say the object is original, A, B, C, and they're saying that A prime, B prime, C prime is the image of it under the enlargement scale factor 2. So if the scale factor is 2, everything double up. But you see, when you're doing area, because they're not asking for the shape, I'm telling you now, area. If scale factor is 2 and you're going to find the area, I promise you, area means that your scale factor will square. So squaring of everything. So you have to use 4 to work out area of the original to area of the other one, because for area, you have to square the scale factor. So if I find the area of this, it's 2. Look, 2, 2. So it's going to be length, base times height, area of the original one. Half base height, 2 times 2 over 2. That is just 2. Right? So now, so this is 2. And if I want to find the area of the blown up one after that, I multiply by 4, I get 8. So even though the scale factor is 2, we are not saying that the area will double. No, you have to find the square of the scale factor to relate area to area. So original scale factor link length to length, right? And let me prove it to you now. Let us blow this up a little bigger. Let me just show you the idea. If this was blown up bigger, this 2 would have become 4. So it would have gone here. And this 2 would have become 4. It would have reached here. So this would have been the new one. Just showing you. In terms of size, it would have been as big as this. Everything double. So it I get 4, 4. So it would be half of 4 times 4. 16 over 2. Still get back 8. So I was just saying, if you had blown up the thing for real,